Well, let's begin. Thank you again for your time today. We're going to not spend too much time, maybe 20 minutes, to run through this whole concept of real time. Basically, since the dawn of planning, the learning medium for clients has always been the written plan. So ultimately, planning is about learning and decision making, and we embody our recommendations, prove them with graphs, tables, and so on in a written document, meet with clients, present it, and get their feedback, their thoughts. Very possibly when they see the output, they may want to make some changes. So we make notes, go back to the office, change things, and then re-meet with clients and so on. What we want to do today is present an alternative which will save you a great deal of time, but also, we believe, be far more engaging for clients. I've opened the VisionWorks website, and I just want to run my mouse over the VisionWorks logo. Remember, to play training videos, you need to be logged in. And if you go down to presentation videos, you'll see that there's a video on this new real-time mode. And it runs only 6 minutes. So you can tell from that this whole real-time approach is actually very simple to use. So let's open VisionWorks and we'll have a look at how it operates. You can open any plan and solution. You'll notice I've created a solution for today's demo that I call real-time demo. And all you need to do is click the options button, go to presentations, and then once it loads, you'll see two tabs, one for PowerPoint presentations, which we released in June. And again, it's another way of presenting output to people that may be more engaging for them and not, the printed plan. And then you'll also see the real-time tab. So this is the new feature that we introduced about 2 weeks ago. The concept with real-time is very simple. When you present a plan initially to people, you can do it in real time. And then if they do have any questions or suggest changes that they might like to test out, then you can actually do them live time with clients. A couple of things. If you want to, this will open to full size on your screen. If you want to resize it, there's a little triangle in the lower right corner that you can grab and drag, and it'll resize the real-time window. You can see here the solution. So this is the one that I've already opened up. And if I were to open the list, you can see I can select different solutions. So this is where you'd go and select the solution that you want to work with. As always, we recommend that before you make changes, you click or you create a new solution and make changes in the new solution. And to do that, you would just click the add button and then you'd create a new solution. I'm just going to work with the real-time demo solution today. So let's take a little tour and get familiar with the interface. Depending on the output you want to look at, you'd open the list in the upper left corner. So you can see we could look at Bill's output, Sue's, Bill Jr., or we'll just stay with the total output. And also you can see under the graph that we have the net worth, income assets, and net cash tabs, which are the usual output. But you'll also see that we've added an estate tab here so that we can actually do interactive estate planning with clients. And we'll come back and look at that later. All we need to do at this point is decide what we want to look at or consider for change. So you'll see the tabs here: income, expenses, assets, liabilities, and so on. Now, you'll notice that this organization is quite different from the normal tree view organization, which is home, lifestyle, career, family, etc. So just to give you an idea how this works, I'm going to select the expenses tab. We have a reasonable total income assets projection for Bill and Sue over their life expectancy. So seeing that, they may say, for instance, oh, well, could we afford to spend more on vacations? So you can see now that we're on the expenses tab that we have a list of different expenses. There are their joint winter vacations. Now you can make an entry in that field. However, if you do, and if you'll remember how our draggable graphs work, it will only make a change through the next change point. So if it's an entry that has changes over time, what you'll need to do is click the edit button, open the details panel, and then make a change. So in this particular case, I'm just going to increase the entry to $15,000 a year. Can we spend more on winter vacations during our retirement? So I'll make the change, close that details panel, click the apply button, and then the output will be recalculated and we'll see the before and after graph. So what we're able to do is make changes on the fly with clients. So we can see if we run our mouse over the before line and the after area graph, we can see what the difference is. And of course, in this case, spending that extra $5,000 for those number of years starts to run through their income assets quite noticeably. Now, one of the issues that I believe happens when we meet with clients and present a plan is that they'll say, well, given the output, could we spend more on vacations? And there may be one or two other questions that they pose. So if you typically make notes, return to the office, rekey entries, re-meet with clients, and represent, what often happens is when they look at the new output, then other things might come to mind. So in this particular case, they might say, well, vacations are really the thing that we most want to do in retirement. But that's looking a little on the lean side. We could run out of money. So what would happen if we bought cars less often? So the problem with making changes, re-meeting, representing is that the new output may in turn suggest other changes to clients. I was talking with an advisor last week, and he was saying that there have been quite a few occasions for him when he's had to have up to 6 meetings with clients before all of the tweaking, so to speak, has been done to the client's satisfaction. It's also important to note that I would suggest very seldom will they ask about what I'll call financial planning tactics, tax tactics, portfolio reallocations. Typically what they'll do is they'll look at output and then raise questions about lifestyle changes. So taking this particular approach, what we're able to do is we're able to make those lifestyle changes on the fly. And then if one change leads to another thought on the part of the client, we can just continue on until we've run through all the different questions that they might have. A couple of other things. You can also include and exclude entries. So I'm just going to right click on take a vacation. And now you can see I could edit the text, exclude the entry, or even add a note to it. So in this particular case, we'll actually exclude the entry. You can see it's now grayed out. And to see the impact on the output, we would need to click the apply button. And then we'll see the effect of not taking any winter vacations at all. And we can see actually that it's quite substantial. So I'm going to re-include this. One of the things that we want to do today is also cover the estate output from an estate planning point of view. And it's just a little more involved in the selections you need to make than this rather straightforward income, expense, or asset change approach. In order to do the estate output, the first thing we want to do is open the list and decide whose estate output we want to view. So I'm going to select Bill, and then I'm going to select the Estate tab. And once this processes, we'll see the estate output for Bill. And in this particular file, I have all assets going from Bill to Sue. She's the sole beneficiary. Bill's half of the house, his remaining retirement plans, and so on. And as you'll remember, if I click the Show Table button, we see that Bill's projected liquid assets are slightly negative. And then there are the charges to the estate: terminal taxes, estate administration taxes, probate fees by province, and so on. So now we have the, sorry, I clicked the wrong button. So now we have the estate output for Bill. So in order to change this, what would the effect be on the estate if, for instance, Bill leaves the cottage to Bill Jr., son from a previous marriage? We would click the Will Beneficiaries tab, and then notice again we'll have to select whose output we want to look at. So we want to look at Bill's. So here we would have the terms of Bill's will, and then if we click the Beneficiaries tab, we'll be able to change the beneficiary for the cottage. Now, I want you to also notice the TFSA and RRSP are here. And if I had modeled an insurance policy for Bill, it would also be here. So typically, beneficiaries for these are entered in the beneficiaries panel that's associated directly with the TFSA or RRSP. So obviously, when it comes to life insurance, we designate a beneficiary of the life insurance policy, or most often for the RRSP, which is in TFSA, which are both trusts, we would designate a beneficiary for the trust. Because of the organization of real-time mode, what we've done on the beneficiaries tab is we've added everything that could have a beneficiary. So assets such as a cottage that would be normally mentioned in the will, plus also TFSAs, RSPs, and insurance policies. So in this case, then all I need to do is click that edit button, and then I can change the beneficiary from Sue to Bill Jr., close the panel, click the apply button, and now we'll of course get the output for the revised will. You'll also note, and of course we can see the effect on the residue for distribution. It's quite disastrous. You'll also see tabs for tactics, retirement, and allocation. So these are the standard tabs that you'd find on the solutions page. So for example, if I click allocation, we could now go in and reallocate Bill's portfolios if we wanted to. Obviously, what we would do is go back and select income assets to see the impact on the income assets of the reallocation of that portfolio. So what I'm going to do now, you can see this is fairly straightforward, is I'm going to open the conversation or the webinar up for questions.
The conference is now in talk mode.
The conference is now in conversation mode. All participants are now unmuted.
Michael, can you hear me?
Yes.
Greg, can you take copy?
Yes.
But I don't have any questions. It's never playing with it, I suppose. It looks really interesting. I like the concept. It's a good idea.
Yeah. So let's just review, what drives this. I would suggest to you that the most effective way to engage people is through a PowerPoint presentation or especially live time. so that they feel that they're part of creating a plan. So once again, planning is all about learning and decision making. The learning medium has always been the written report. We, create the written report, meet with clients, leaf our way through it, explain everything and so on. But inevitably, typically clients will ask questions. Oh, that's interesting. What if we did this or what if we did that? So engaging them in the conversation and really having them arrive at the feeling that they've authored their own plan and you've acted as coach is most effective if we go into real-time mode and make changes on the fly. Clients then see the impact of the change, and having seen an impact of a change, it actually may suggest something else to them. And that's very typical of how our minds work. What if we did this? We see the result, and then based on that, we may come up with something else, which we hadn't thought of before. So this whole approach of engaging clients, talking to them, should lead to them being very satisfied with the plan, understanding exactly all the different things. You can then, apply changes. They might be portfolio reallocations, for instance. And then from there, I would suggest that the written report becomes more of a takeaway for future reference. But if learning is done in real time, generally the most important thing for clients will simply be the to-do list. Any other questions? Barb, do you have any? You were on earlier.
Yeah, I was just curious, but can you do something if you want to, say, change the acceleration or the pay down on their mortgage? I can do that as well.
Sure. If you go to
liability.
Yes, if you go to liabilities, and I'll have to go to show all, then I can go to here and make changes.
Okay. So basically everything we could model in the old version is accessible in the real time.
Yes.
If you find the right tab.
Yes, all in one place.
Okay.
In this particular case, by the way, paying down mortgages would be on the liabilities tab. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing that. I'll have to look into that. We should see liabilities. Oh, wait. Here we go. This is where I could go in and do, for instance, auto prepayments.
Yeah.
And Michael, when we hit, you said we enter a new solution
Yes.
and do all our changes on the new solution. And after we hit apply, do those changes reflect back on the new solution and then we just get it as planned?
Yes, exactly. So, yes. So we always talk about, creating a new solution before you want to make changes. Jeremy just sent me a note and reminded me, you cannot create new entries in real-time mode. That's not the purpose of it. So if, somebody said, oh, gee, what if we bought a motorhome and that wasn't in the plan, then you will have to close real time and go back into the software, so to speak, and add the motorhome. So the intention of real time is to take whatever it is they have in mind and make changes to, the existing entries. And again, I'm going to suggest that most of the time, those changes would be typically lifestyle changes. There may be some financial planning tactics that you want to show them. And the lifestyle changes in turn might suggest changes to portfolio allocations, for instance. Somebody just sent me a question asking, what can you do if you're on the phone and clients ask questions? Well, there are lots of webinar tools available, such as Join Me, the one we're using today. And my view is that every advisor in today's world should have some type of webinar software on their desktop, so that when you're talking with clients, you're able to go into a webinar very easily, open the software, and then make changes while on the phone, live time with the client. I think it's a much more effective conversation for them. And again, certainly with us being here in Toronto, our preference is always to do webinars with advisors, simply because travel time has become just painful. So you'll save yourself all that travel time, or the client travel time, if you have webinar software and can just, start a webinar and make changes on the fly with the client. Other questions?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So I think, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just said it's good. It's exciting.
Yeah. So I think you'll find this is very easy to use. I'm just going to close it and go back again to our website and remind you that the real-time mode video is there. It got everything in it that we covered today. It's only 6 minutes long. And I really encourage you to, have a good look at it and, test the waters with clients. I think you'll find that the client experience is very heightened because, they're now engaged in the creation of their own plan, their plan for themselves, which, as we all know, leads to much greater buy-in and implementation.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Okay, so
Thanks for taking the time to do that. That's a big help.
oh yeah, Jeremy, by the way, just also reminded me, we came out after testing with some of our clients a couple of weeks ago with the new workstation, which is the cloud-based version. So again, any device, anywhere, anytime. Jeremy, in testing it, actually had used his telephone and projected VisionWorks, the workstation, on his big screen TV. So if you'd like to learn more about that, his mobile phone. If you'd like to learn more about that, please go to the website, click support, and send Jeremy an email, and he'll get in touch with you and review workstation with you. So again, pardon me?
Thanks a lot. You guys are this is great.
Yeah. So thank you again for your time, and look forward to answering any questions. If any come up, please, feel free to give me a call.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.